to Sunday. It is November the 27th, and for those of you that are in the U.S., of course, this is a long weekend, or the end of a very long weekend. It is 3:54 in the afternoon, and today I wanted to talk about a subject that I have said before I will bring up again and again because I think it is an extremely important subject, something that needs to be brought up and talked about multiple times, and that is the subject of fear. It is something that all of us deal with, including myself. And I never want to ever give the impression that I am never afraid of anything. I have had situations, I have gone through experiences where I was afraid, especially that first time when I astral projected. For those of you who may not have listened to that first time, I forget where I put that video under, but if you want to hear my first time, it scared me to death that first time when I astral projected. But dealing with fears most times out there has to do with lack of understanding, and that first time was exactly that. I didn't understand what was happening to me, and that was why I was afraid. So I want to talk to you about fear and talk about some of the things that come up. Now, some people think there is a chance, and I'm going to get right into this fear thing, and I'm going to both talk about astral projection and shifting. Some people think that there is a chance that you could be trapped outside of your body when you astral project. Now, in the 40 plus years I have done this, I have never had an issue getting back into my body. In fact, the problem has always been that I haven't been able to stay out as long as I would like to. So I actually have to try to maintain myself out there, whether I'm astral projecting or shifting. And one of the things that I've done, and I've talked about this before, is breathing. Deep breaths, not just breathing. I mean, we're all breathing, but focusing on your breath and taking nice deep breaths, that helps me to stay out there if I'm projecting or if I'm shifting. However, being trapped out there has never been a problem for me. I think the other part to this, and something that I kind of want to go over, and again, I've gone over this before, but it is my belief that when we astral project or when we shift or whatever, we are able to maintain multiple positions. We are able to be both occupying our body and being out there at the same time. The concept of one having to be in one place or another is a 3D concept, but we exist, to my belief, on many different levels. So that's not an issue. We can be here in our bodies and we can be out there as well at the same time and having experiences. And when we're out there having experiences, we can focus on what's going on out there and kind of take our focus away from our bodies. But it doesn't mean that we're not still occupying our bodies just because we've placed most of our focus on what's going on out there in the astral plane, or if we shift, what's going on in a different reality. Now, one of the ways that I have kind of seen this is by being able to hear certain things that are going on near my body, like, hearing storm sounds or even hearing talk radio, and then also experiencing what's out there and being able to change my focus so that the sounds that are happening near my body start to fade away, and my primary focus and the sounds, the experience, everything is like, it's almost like the volume's turned up over there. You're turning the volume down near your body, turning the volume up when you're out and having the experience. So, no, I have never had an issue getting back into my body. My belief is that we are occupying multiple spaces at once. So this isn't like, you leave a house unoccupied. The house is still occupied, but you're also out there roaming around. So anyway, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was an important thing because I see this a lot on the subreddit, shadow entities. Now, people talk about shadow entities or evil entities trying to maybe attack them in some way. My confrontations out there with entities or beings, number one, extremely, extremely rare. That's what I can tell you right now. But before I get into any sort of confrontation or any confrontations that I may have had, I wanted to talk a little bit about shadow entities. First, I want to ask you something. If you saw a shadow entity walking around in your room, let's say you left your body, and the entity did not try to attack you. So, in other words, you see a shadow entity, it's there, but it's not doing anything towards you. It's not attacking you. It's not even approaching you. Do you still think it would be evil? Now, I want you to really think about that. Because, honestly, isn't it behavior that defines a person's character or their intentions? Why would you think it was any different in the spirit realm? And what does the fact that it's dark or it's shadow have to do with it being evil? Is this because you feel that darkness in some way is evil? Now, this is a subject that I've talked about, but I'm going to talk about it again because I think it's important. I have experienced the void, and I've shared that experience on this channel. And that space, to me, appears to be pitch black. And yet, I have never felt such a profound connection with the source of all things and a connection with existence itself, the love that binds us. I want you to really think about the beliefs that you're bringing out there when you go. Light is always good. Darkness is always evil. What does that even mean? This is why when I am out there, I am always thinking in terms of my instincts, regardless of what a being looks like, because appearance out there doesn't really mean much. You have to rely on your instincts. That's how I do it. I rely on my instincts. They're extremely powerful out there. And if something doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't. I don't care how beautiful it may appear, or it could be dark and look evil. But it's all about behavior, and it's all about what it makes you feel, your instincts. Now, as I have said, it is extremely rare that I've had any kind of confrontations out there. I've talked about at least one confrontation that I had, where there was a being that was sort of whispering in my ear, was saying some things, and I told the being to get back, step away. And when the being did not, I told the being multiple times, I took the being, folded it up like I don't know, it's almost like you were folding a piece of clothing or something. It was a really weird experience. I was really kind of acting off instinct, and then I tossed it away. And then I stepped back and I went back into my body. Now, again, It's a very rare occurrence. Remember, I've been leaving my body for 40 plus years, and I can tell you that maybe a few times in all of those experiences have I had to say, hey, look, you need to get back. You need to step away. So look, this is the thing. And I think this is the thing that you should always go by regardless. If something doesn't feel right, you should always go back. If you see somebody that doesn't look right or feel right to you, you should think to yourself, I want to be back, and you should be back in an instant. That's how it has always worked for me. The best way to deal with this, in my opinion, is to return to your body, but also to rely on your instincts, because, look, there are beings out there that are angry. There are beings out there that are bitter. And there are beings out there that may want to be around you because you're connected to a body or something, or because you are putting out certain things. And that's the other thing I want to really emphasize to you. This is why you may have even read this in other places, but I'm going to tell you this as well. When you leave your body, or when you shift, or when you do any of these things, it is important to be as calm and collect as you possibly can, and not be carrying things with you. There was someone in the comments that had asked me about, and I'm not going to get into specifics about it because I don't want to even put this in someone's head, but they were telling me about a nightmarish scenario that they were thinking about, and they were saying, in this nightmare world, would they be able to shift to it? And they don't want to shift to it. And, they were afraid of shifting to it. And my comment was, well, if you don't think about it, if you keep your mind away from it, then I don't think you will. But it is within your power to go there, I suppose. Suppose you could go to a world like that. There's an infinite number of worlds. But I would be wondering, why would you think of going to a place like this? Why would that be in your head? I don't know. But if that is something that's in your mind and you can't get rid of it, I would suggest that you stay put and that you don't attempt to go anywhere until you're able to get that under control and get that out. It's important that you be as clear as you possibly can be before you go out. It just is. Because especially with astral projection, things can manifest themselves instantly. Negative emotions, all kinds of things. So you may be wondering where all this imagery comes from, these entities, these evil things. You may actually be projecting it yourself. You may actually be doing that. Why? Because we are so much more powerful than we know. And this is the thing that I have been trying to communicate to folks that are shifting and that are astral projecting. This is why I talk so much about empowerment. Now, I want you to really sit and think about the things that scare you. And I want you to say those things out loud. Then I want you to think about where it is that you got that information from. Was it movies? Was it TV? Was it the internet? Did you read it on subreddit? Was it some post that someone had put on there that scared you? Now, fear is at its strongest in the shadows. But once you shine light on it, it loses its power. And that's all I'm asking you to do, is shine light on the fear by saying it out loud. It also helps you to take that power that is already inside of you by saying it. This is so very important because for some of you, fear may be the thing holding you back from achieving your goal of either leaving your body or shifting. So I want you to think about all of these things today. And again, fear will be something I will bring up from time to time. We'll talk about it. And yeah, anyway, thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I hope it was helpful. And until next time, take care.